Gentlemen, thank you for coming here tonight. Godfather of my lovely daughter. Please, James Brown.
They tried to make me stand on a box, but I do find it a little hard to believe that Emily is 21. To me, possibly to her father, 1991 seems like only yesterday. Who's still in our 20s? Just. But when I started thinking about what I was going to say tonight, and Mike and Sue asked me, and I started panicking, I started thinking about what I was going to say tonight. And I got to thinking about how much has changed since 1991. The internet basically didn't exist. A few geeks used email. Yeah. And there's one. Silicon Valley, London. Silicon Valley, London. There was no Facebook or Twitter, so God knows what you lot. Mobile phones, as your parents would have no doubt told you, were the size of house bricks. And you could do two things with them. Make a call and receive a call.
Yes.
There's no text, no apps, and from my point of view, no Angry Birds. Things have moved on somewhat in 21 years. As some of you know, there's an awful lot of history between my family and Emily's, going back over 50 years. And very briefly, by way of example, her grandparents, Will and Mary, are godparents to my sister Claire. My parents are godparents to Mike's younger brother Charlie. There he is. Mike and Sue are godparents to my slightly elder daughter Alexandra. And then there's Emily and me. So long may it continue.
Yeah.
That's a very, very important relationship.
It's all right, Em, don't worry.
There's no hurry. Now, what a lot of you may not know that Emily was a bit of a tomboy when she was very young. And on an early holiday to Tenerife, she was playing happily, kicking the local boys in and very happily when she slipped, bashing her chin on the marble corner of a pond, and she cut her chin really badly. On closer scrutiny, Mike and Sue thought she had knocked out all of her bottom teeth. When they looked a bit closer, it wasn't quite as bad as they first thought. It was simply that they were all covered by her gum, which had come up over the teeth. Truthful, Mike had fainted by that. Age 6, Emily went to St. Peter's in East Bridgford, where she thrived. Long distance running champion, I believe.
Well done, Emily. Too young for vodka, then.
Sticking the line. Back in those days, she was a bit of a small swimmer. She played hockey, she played table tennis, and football, not beer pong.
Not beer pong, yeah, right.
At 11, I think where a lot of you went, she went to Dane Court. Well, I'm told she continued to thrive in her GCSEs and A-levels. GCSE English over her strengths. But it was evident she was never going to be a chef. I think there was a food test report that read, and I quote, "Emily clearly has the ability, but lacks the commitment to reach her target." I don't know. Have any of you tried her cooking recently?
No.
Don't. In her early teens, her first love was her horse. They go galloping about the countryside in your faithful truck, Bertha. In the late teens, Emily's focus changed to obscure American rock bands. But you're going to have to forgive me here, because I'm going to have to read these at long distance. There was My Chemical Romance, something called Fallout Boy, and We Are Scientists. By all accounts, Emily would leave the house and queue outside Rock City in Nottingham at 5 AM to ensure that she was the first.
And Ruth, who's right there.
I'm coming to that. To ensure that she was in the front of the mosh pit. Whatever one of those is. That sounds horrible. Anyway, she'd come home in the early hours of the morning with bruised ribs, bleeding ears, but very happy. It was around this time the tongue stud, tattoo, and red hair. My daughters, some 7 years younger than Emily, were very, very, very impressed with all this. Particularly the red hair. They're both very, very blonde and 14 years old and horrible. But I hold Emily solely responsible for the fact that they both now have hair the colour of Ribena. And I am not. In the summer of 2008, Sue and her sister Judy took Emily and her friend Ruth
Right.
to the States for 6 back-to-back music festivals, which sounds absolutely horrible. I have no idea how they work. Somehow, Emily would always blag backstage passes. Possibly.
Oh, he's lost his place again.
I think ultimately that's because at the end of the day you are half a yank. Sorry, Sue. I've lost my place again. So there she was, on one occasion, dancing on a table. But dancing on a table with one Katy Perry, who was about to become very famous, singing about kissing a girl and liking her. Anything you want to share there? In summer 2010, Emily was in Seattle, working in a girls' camp as a qualified lifeguard, which I've frankly found very dubious. They did all sorts of things, but the one thing that sticks in mind is a story which Mike told me, which was an image of Emily and her friends licking yellow slugs, which by all accounts made your mouth go numb.
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
You know when your father did Camp America, he just used moonshine.
True.
I know.
It works.
Anyway, great A-levels, got her a place to do American Studies at UCL? UCL?
Kings.
King's.
Was what it was meant to be. Yeah, thanks. They cancelled the course, I didn't get rejected.
Anyway, they cancelled the course. Didn't get rejected. By a twist of fate, you ended up at Manchester.
I did.
Yes! Been to Manchester.
Yes!
MCO.
Does the cyclist town still exist? Does the cyclist town still exist? No?
Nope.
Well, there she is. She ended up at that. Where you are having quite a nice time.
Quite a nice time.
And made some very, very good friends.
Very, very good.
But I didn't get
The small ones at the back.
No, we're up here. But I get the impression that you do like a bit of a drink.
I'll save some for the toast.
You spent 6 months in Tennessee with the Rednecks on an exchange.
Yes.
Now, I have to say, I did follow Emily's blog, which was updated quite rarely. Really. And from that, what I learned was that you ate a lot of cereal, very rarely got out of your pyjamas, which by all accounts count for formal dress in Tennessee, and spent your time counting how many of your classmates were carrying a gun.
A lot.
That's
Yeah.
You're right.
Emily joined the University Ski Club, and I'm told that you always completed the Port to Port Challenge,
But
which is a bottle of
bottle
port
of port between London and Calais.
on your own.
On my own.
This is what we're paying for, Mike.
I tell you what, that's
It's an investment.
really, really good life skills going forward. It's really going to help you a lot. So,
Got you into the West End, didn't it?
so university finishes in June. What next? Bit of travelling,
Maybe.
apparently.
Yeah. Danny.
Danny, yes? Bit of travelling.
Year of travelling.
Some work experience. It's anybody's guess. But whatever it is, there are going to be many, many more successes coming from you, Emily. It's been a real, real pleasure watching you grow up from a little tomboy to the beautiful, beautiful, self-assured young woman that you are today. Everybody wishes you health, wealth and happiness. And I hope you'll all join me in a toast on Emily's 25th. So, who's your place?
I've been forced to make like a little like a oh no. I've literally got like 50 seconds. That's it. Alright, so big thank you to James for making the speech. A big thank you to everyone who's come tonight. I know everyone's come from the south and way up north and everywhere, so thank you to you. Alright, I've got a big thing to say about everyone who's not here tonight. You know, everyone over in America with my mum's family who are in Philadelphia, Delaware, Virginia, everywhere. And the Halloms who aren't here, Alex and Abby who aren't here.
They wanted to be.
Oh, you didn't let them.
They've got red hair.
It's pretty much the biggest thank you to my parents who have let us use their house for the last time because we're moving in. Last time, we're moving in a couple of weeks, so last time the house is being used.
So trash it.
Trash it.
No, I'll move alcohol so you have to drink it all.
Pool pie.
Pool pie in the new house when we move in.
Too right.
No, give a big thank you to everyone again for coming. Like I know everyone's come from around, so really, really big thank you for coming.